PSGL Formula 8. We are tonight at the Temple of Speed, also known as Monza. Joining you from the commentary box, I am Salim Haddad, and alongside me, Speed Quinn, welcoming you. Good evening, Speed. How are you doing?
Yeah, good evening. I'm doing really well. I'm here excited seeing this round 6, I believe, of Monza. We are here at Monza. So, of course, a lot of accidents happen around here at turn 1 and 2, and mainly at turn 4 as well. So, it's going to be interesting how many safety cars or virtual safety cars we see here. It is dry, so that is always a good sign here.
Funny thing is that Jeff from Formula 1 2021 and before used to always warn us about turn 1 and 2 in Monza. Be careful going into turn 1. Be careful going into Variante. So as you said, it's gonna be a question mark to know how many safety cars are we gonna have, because every time you have a long straight followed by a slow corner, you're gonna expect crashes. This is how things go. As Slinky gets the provisional fastest lap, it's a 1:19.4. Personally, I had a league race on Gran Turismo in Monza last Saturday, and I can tell you, it was carnage. Total carnage. A lot of people brake checked me on turn 1, and after that, it was like a game of bowling.
Yeah, usually is like that here in Monza, especially on F1. But we have Slinky going. Actually, Tim Vreiswijk, I think is how you say that. He's just done a 19.2, so challenger for Peter Vol here. It's not going to be so easy for Peter Vol this week, as Dan 007 even goes quicker than Peter Vol, and Provatox. Whoa, out of turn 2, gets on a throw a bit too early, crashes into the wall on the left side, and his qualifying is done.
Well, I don't wish any harm to anyone, to Provatox, but I was slightly relieved that it wasn't V19, because I was having a small chat. It's not that I have any preferences, but I was having a small chat with V19 prior to the race, and he told me that he's aiming for a podium. So I'm here supporting everyone's dreams, so let's hope that he gets a podium today.
Yeah, so I'm just on board with Chris Hallett as he goes around turn 3. He had very solid turn 1, turn 2. He was 1.5 tenths down through sector 1 compared to his first time, but that lap time was only a 140. Round Lesmo 1 just gets on the curve a bit too much and he spins it out. So unfortunate for Chris Hallett to spin off there. Let's see if anyone else is on a lap. I think Stelios is not on a lap, so I'll hop on board with Stelios. He takes Ascari very cleanly. He did have a purple sector too, but we know what the sectors are like on this game. See how he takes. I know it's not called Parabolica anymore, but you just have to call it Parabolica. As it goes to the line, P6 for him, a 1:19.652. So a solid banker lap for Stelios there, as he's with a whole host of other cars on a 1:19.6, including V19, SJM, and iXenox.
So Tim Vreiswijk sounds like a new name, sounds like a new guy around the block. And he's here willing to surprise everyone. We are happy to see that this is going to be a full grid tonight. And the lap times are varying between the 1:19.2 and the 1:20.2. I'm not going to consider the latter two because they're slightly off pace. And going through the quali, I would like to ask our viewers, first I would like to tell them good evening, and second I would like to ask them, who are you supporting and where are you watching from?
See, we've still got 4 people yet to set lap time. Joshua has invalidated his lap, so he won't be setting a time on this lap, but the other 3 are on out laps at the moment. Isaiah Bow, well, Wooly was on out lap, but he's just started his flying lap, and Xenon as well. I'm going to stick on board with Wooly 51 just to see how he hooks this lap together. So going towards turn 3, you want to stick to the inside, take the shortest line possible. Through 4 and 5, you don't want to go over that turn 4 curb too much or it'll throw your car into the sky. See, there's my 1, nice, there's my 2. It's good, carried a lot of speed through the Lesmos. Now the tricky part, going under the bridge and up to Ascari. Let's see, can carry his speed for Ascari. First part very well, he kept his speed, he nearly kept his foot pinned through all of it. Of course you want to carry as much speed as you can whilst scrubbing off as little as possible through the last corner. Maybe turned in a little bit too early, but we'll have to see if that scrubbed off any time. It's a 1:19.7, puts him 9th.
That's a solid lap from Wooly.
Yeah, a very solid lap from Wooly there as he moves out of the way for the cars behind. So yeah, from 1st to 15th, it's a 2nd. So that just shows how close this grid is here in F8.
Well, taking a look at the chats, I see Yappy supporting Slinky from the Netherlands. Another man by the name of NLD Thom is also supporting Slinky from the Netherlands. So the Slinky fan club is back at it.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, unfortunately last week, of course, we didn't have a stream. But yeah, it's good to see we are back and fan club are still coming in their numbers.
Well, I also see Provatox talking some things that are not very good about himself. Well, Provatox, this is something that I always say. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? Don't expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Mistakes are there to teach you a lesson. Same thing happens when you burn your hand when you touch a hot thing. You're like, that's so hot. You learn that you're not to touch any hot things anymore. Same thing probably with corners in F1. Provatox saying, hopefully my parents. Well, we are getting a little bit into philosophy, but parents are the only people who would give you an unconditional love on this planet. So, big shout out to everyone's parents. I wanted to ask you, Speed, what happened last week in Suzuka?
So we actually had a first-time winner here. I will have to bring it up. We had Stelios winning in the AlphaTauri. We had Peter Vol get in 2nd place and outscoring Slinky in 2nd, who got 4th. 3rd place was Wooly, actually. After he had a very good start being in P1, he made contact with his teammate SJM, and I do believe SJM was out of the race at that point, and Wooly was at the back of the grid. So to get a podium from that position was a very, very good race for Wooly.
Provatox saying at least he can't lose any position tonight since he's going to be starting last. And Jeff Barron is saying Dan will win or Prova. 20-1. Okay, ladies and gents, and since we are communicating, I would like to tell you to follow me on my socials. It's Haddad F1. It's on Instagram and TikTok. And follow Speed. Go ahead, Speed.
Yeah, just my Twitter account, speed_Quinn.
That way you can connect to us and communicate with us and tell us if you have any concerns about our duty.
Yes, I think everyone is. There are a few people on their outlaps. I think Luna J-Ho is one of the only people who's actually on a fast lap, so I'm gonna stick on board. It's just invalidated going over turn 4. Going over the turn 4 curve a bit too much. Now he's gonna probably make his way back to the pits and get a new set of soft tyres on. There are yellow flags. I think that is Dan going slow going up to the last corner, and I believe he's going to be going into the pit lane. There are only 2 drivers in, well, only 3 drivers have got faster than a 1:19.5. Surprisingly, Peter Vol is not one of them. He's on a fast lap now, so do you want to take us through his lap?
Sure. Here we go with Peter Vol. Peter Vol is currently in the second sector. He's going to be heading into Variante Ascari into turn 8. Goes down to 6th gear. Clean racing line. Well, there's something about Monza. You were saying about the lap times that they're close, and you were surprised that Peter Vol doesn't have probably the fastest lap as he goes now down to Curva Parabolica. He's gonna go across the finish line. Not able to, well, he got a 119.3, manages to get ahead of Slinky. Well, there's something about Monza. Monza is a very easy track, which makes everyone good at it. This is why you would face tough competition in Monza. Do you agree?
Yeah, I believe it's obviously like a fan favourite track for pretty much everyone, so they're going to be doing everything. Like, they're just going to be playing it non-stop on time trial or just like with their friends, just practicing. That and Austria as well. Those 2 are probably the most popular tracks on this game, so there's going to be a lot of fast people and times are going to be really close. As from 1st to 18th, it's just over a second. So you can see everyone is just like very, very close. And I believe the biggest gap between drivers is only about 1.5 tenths. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very exciting race and a very interesting race to watch from our point of view.
So, ladies and gents, we are at the closing 2 minutes of the qualifying session. Tim Vreeswijk is sitting invincible in provisional first place with a 119.2. Few thousandths of the second behind. Dan sitting in second place. Third place till now to Peter Vol, the Czech driver. And this is Chris Hallett with a purple sector 1. Would you please drive us through his lap?
Yeah, so he's just going through Lesma 2 now. DRS is activated. He does have a car ahead of him. Not sure if the McLaren is on a fast lap, but as we get on to Ascari, want to carry as much speed as you can. Try to keep the throttle pinned, and it looks like he did. He does have that McLaren ahead, but I don't think he will catch him as we get to the Parabolica. You want to... just lost the rear end, and that's his lap ruined. I'm not sure. No, he's going into the pits, so he won't be qualifying any higher than 8th, unfortunately. It was looking like a solid lap there for Chris, but fortunately he just lost it at the very crucial moment at Parabolica.
That is unfortunate for Chris Hallett. 35 seconds left. The drivers are now finalizing their lap times. The students are now handing over their exams. Time is nearly over, as we are close to getting back to school, since summer is nearly over. This is Robin Weisling in 6th place with a 119.5. Robin Weisling, a fast driver, and I'm not seeing Juan Hernandez anywhere, also known as Hare 16 Rod. Seems that he was not racing tonight.
I'm just on board with Dan 007 at the moment, but yeah, I don't think 16 Rod is racing. But yeah, Dan 007 is looking very, very solid. He was nearly 2 tenths up on his lap at the second sector split. So just have to see. There is a bit of debris on track. He goes provisional pole.
Wow.
With a 19.0. Tim Breiswijk has invalidated his lap, so he'll be qualifying second unless Slinky has something to say about him. No, he doesn't. We have Xenox on a lap as well, so he's one of the only people who can get onto provisional pole. He's the only person on, actually Xenon as well, is completing his lap. See what Xenon can do, only enough to get him up to 17th. Xenox, I have to see what time he can do. I didn't catch where he finished. That lap put him in 5th place, so Dan 007 on pole. And Tim Breiswijk, well, he invalidated his last lap, and that costed him.
So it's Dan 007 who sits on pole position, 119.0, nearly 1/10 behind Tim Breiswijk. In 3rd place, it's gonna be Peter Voll, and starting on 3rd is gonna have an advantage, don't you think so, for Peter Voll?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the run into turn 1, starting 3rd, you'd think having the slipstream from, well, Dan in front of him, if he can get a good start, he could see him into 1st place at the end of turn 2.
So, ladies and gents, now you have enough time to rush to the kitchen and grab yourselves your favorite snacks and drinks, because after that we are going to be racing in Monza.
Yeah. So just a quick mention of the title sponsor for PSGL. They are GT Omega. You can get all of your sim racing products. You can get backpacks. They have their own apparel. It's a very, very good brand, and I have a backpack myself from GT Omega, and it's one of the best purchases I've ever made. So in the description down below, you will see a link to GT Omega. Any products that you're interested in getting, just use PSGL at the checkout, and you'll get a discount. As we say every week, who doesn't love a discount?
Probably store owners.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very interesting to see how this race unfolds here. And it's going to be very close, as you see 5 red lights. And it's underway. See who has a good start. Dan 007. Peter Voll actually has a not great start. He's in P5 at the moment, getting jumped by Slinky and Xenox.
Slinky got rammed from behind.
Yes, Slinky has dropped off a little bit from Xenox. He's already out of that 1 second range, and it's nose to tail here between everyone. And that's V19.
P19 drops to last place. Very unfortunate for him. We were expecting to see him on the podium today, as Peter Vol just overtook Slinky and seems that he's fighting the Ferrari.
Oh.
The Ferrari of Robin Weisling side by side going. Oh. He loses his front wing? Did he lose his front wing?
Not too
That's
sure.
a glitch. That's a glitch, I think.
Yeah, that's a glitch.
Robin Weisling now going side by side next to the Williams of Slinky as they go into Curva Parabolica. Seems that Robin Weisling got better traction, but now Slinky is getting the slipstream. Slinky is gonna move to the right side. Who's gonna be the one to break the ladder?
It could be
Slinky
3 wide.
moves ahead. What a move from Slinky. Moves up to P5. And I can see the Alfa Romeo of Wooly getting an oversteer.
Yeah, Willie was right behind Slinky and Robin. Now he's dropped down to P9, so must have had quite a horrible turn 1 too. But yeah, there are yellows, and I believe that is Joshua who has spun out. Has he retired? It looks like he's gonna keep on going, but he has got damage to his front wing, so it's unfortunate for Joshua as his race isn't over, but it's going to be very difficult for him to get back to the pack.
So 2 laps have passed so far. It was an excellent start from Dan, who is still leading the race. 6 tenths behind we can find Tim Vrijswijk. And Peter Vol sets the fastest lap now. Zenox moves up to 3rd place, only 4 tenths behind. And now that the DRS has been enabled, we are gonna see a lot of surprises. Take a look at Robin Weisling. He's very close to Slinky. We might see some action as we head next.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Peter Vol as he gets a purple sector 1, and he is closing down on Xenox. Just in this lap alone, he's gained 4 tenths on Xenox. So he's really pushing, and he's on the hard tyres, so maybe looking to try and do a hard-soft strategy here. But he has already, I believe, got below 10% in ERS. He's only on 8%. He's really pushing with his ERS. So the others ahead of him have got like 60-70%, nearly 80%. So Peter Vol is really pushing, trying to get into the DRS so he can stick and start saving his ERS behind him.
But juicing your ERS till 6%, that's like a suicide mission. How is he going to be able to regenerate? I know that Monza is a high braking circuit, but still, you shouldn't drop your ERS that low.
Yeah, he's put himself in a pretty bad situation as he gained 4 tenths in that last lap, and now he's just completely lost it again. It's going to be very difficult from this position Peter Vol has put himself in to actually make ground on the front 3. And there's a huge DRS train all the way. Oh, Joshua has retired in the pit lane. So that's always unfortunate to see someone retiring from the pit lane. You should never give up. You never know what's going to happen in a league race. You could be last by a minute, and a single safety car can bring you back into the race.
Exactly, Speed. This is exactly what happened to Sergio Perez in Bahrain 2020 on the 2nd layout. You should never give up. This was his first ever victory. He would have lost. If he gave up, he would have given away a victory when he was driving with a Racing Point, pink Racing Point. So it's Dan still leading the race, half a second behind Tim Vreeswijk. In third place, Izenix. And if you take a look at Chris Hallett, seems like he's only 2/10 behind Luno Jayhey. We might see something as they go into.
Yeah, it does. It does look like Luna Jayhey is actually struggling to keep up with Robin West, and the same can be said for Robin. He's struggling a little bit to keep up with Slinky, but he did get into the DRS zone, so he did have DRS. But Luna Jayhey actually had DRS on Robin. So Chris Hallett struggling to make any more strides towards Luna Jayhey.
This could be the tire difference between them, the mediums and the hards. Big differences between them.
Yeah, definitely. As Tim Vreeswijk actually gets past Dan 007. We didn't catch that move, but contact! Ooh. Dan 007 spins round Tim Vreeswijk. And now Izenux is in the lead of the race, and now Dan was stopping to let Tim Vreeswijk pass, but in doing that, let Peter Vol pass, and now Peter Vol's in P2.
Wow. So Dan went through the back of Tim. They were both off track. Izenix said, "Thank you very much. I will go through." Same thing for Peter Vol, and now they are in 1 and 2. As Tim... Go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, it's alright. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Peter Vol is actually doing quite a good job at recharging his ERS. He's on 30% at the moment, so if he can continue with this, in the next 3 or 4 laps he could be back up to 60. But he will probably have to use it to defend from Tim and Dan. So we'll just have to see, or maybe he'd be smart and just lets them pass. Looking at the tyres, yeah, both Tim and Dan are on the medium, so faster tyres at this moment in time. So might think, at this moment in time, my battle isn't with them. But he did only lose the position to Tim there, so he is still in P3. He's just got to stick with Tim with using minimal ERS from this point.
Wow, so well done, Tim, for going back to second place. And 7 laps have passed so far. It's Izenix who is leading the race. 1.9 seconds behind Tim Vreeswijk. And if we take a look at Wooly and Luno Jayhey, Wooly is only 2/10 behind Luno. Luno, who is trying to challenge Chris Hallett. Chris Hallett weaves around, tries to break the slipstream, as we are gonna move into Variante Ascari. No DRS here because Curva Parabolica is a very dangerous corner. Of course. Wow, seems like Wooly on a better exit got very close to Luno Jayhey. Now he's gonna be getting DRS. Same thing for Luno. Luno getting very close to the Haas. Which way is he gonna go? The Haas moves to the inside line. Seems like Luno will be going around the outside. They're gonna go side by side. He gets pushed off track, and he cuts the corner. Yeah,
Luno should give the position back. He should give the position back to Chris.
Of course he does. Of course he does. This is not your pizza that you're cutting.
Yeah, there we go. So now Luna Jayhey, from cutting that corner and not giving the position back, he got another 5 seconds of penalties, so he's currently on 15 seconds of penalties. Oh, very close there from Luna Jayhey to putting it in the wall, but in that one corner, he just lost. He's lost his race now. 15 seconds of penalties. That will put you right at the back of the grid, considering everyone behind him, apart from V19, is in a DRS train. So what seemed like such a promising start from Luna J is, well, he's ruined his race.
Currently on board with Provatox. Provatox is only 2/10 behind the Ferrari of Rara Lorat. Rara is gonna move to the inside line. He moves Provatox to the extreme. Provatox seems will be going to the outside line. They're gonna go side by side, very late on the brakes, and he's gonna push the Ferrari. Wow, that was nicely defended.
That's how you take turn 1 and 2. That is how you take it very cleanly.
There was some clean racing between the two drivers, so cookies to them.
Yeah, it's very, very good racing. Oh, Provatox to cut across turn 5, and in doing that, Gongax has gone through, and that is V19 again. V19 at turn 5. That's the second time he's spun out at turn 5, and from what you said before the race, he was bigging up his chances of getting a podium, and it's just not turning out for him. It's very unfortunate to see. So I'm just looking at SJM now as he's getting very close to the back of Slow Salt. He's got the overspeed on him without even using the ERS. He gets past, just about braking, and he gets past him. Very, very good overtake there from SJM.
I am currently on board with Rui Diaz, who's only 1/10. Oh my goodness! He rams the Alpine from behind. He rams Luno from behind. And I hope that he hasn't broken his front wing, as we're gonna head now into the second DRS zone. Luno had a better exit, so Rui Diaz lost out a little bit. He's gonna enable DRS. Now he's getting very close to Luno J. And he's too close yet, too far. And Luno J. Oh no, that's Rara Lorat who cut the corner and received a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, it's the same with Luna J. He cut the corner as well, so he's got a 3-second penalty. Well, actually, he's got a 3-second penalty on top of the 15 he's already got. So, only 2 people have penalties at the moment. Luna J. on 18 seconds, and Rara Lorat on 3 seconds.
Currently on board with Slinky. Slinky with the DRS makes it look so easy, and he overtakes Slow Salt of the Aston Martin. Well, we are a bit surprised to see Slinky going down to P15. He's going to be carrying on and hopefully get good results to please the Slinky fan club.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the race yet, so it's going to be interesting. So, strategies for this race, you'd mainly be starting on the mediums, pitting around maybe next lap, or 12 or 13 really, 11, 12, 13, anywhere around there, so you can get the most out of the hard tyres. We didn't have anyone starting on the softs, but you'd be looking to pit around lap 7. And obviously on the hard tyres, if you're starting on them, you could literally take them 19, 20 laps and then pit onto the softs for the final 7.
Currently on board with Tim Vreiswijk with a DRS on the main straight as he's gonna be overtaking Izenix. He goes into turn 1, making it look so easy. Tim Vreiswijk takes the lead of the race now. Only 4/10 behind Izenix, dropping out a little bit. And we have 3 drivers who went to the pits. We are talking about Stelios, Rui Diaz, and Provatox, who are going in for a fresh set of hards. Probably the hards are gonna last till the end of the race. You think?
Yeah, they will definitely end. They will definitely last until the end of the race. Usually, for optimum strategy, you'd be looking to pit on this lap 12. But no harm in trying to get an undercut on the people ahead of you. As I'm just on board with Xenox, is getting very close to the back of Tim, but he doesn't quite get the move done into Ascari. We've already seen plenty of moves into there. And yeah, on the run down to Parabolico, see who gets a better exit out of Tim and Xenox. So just keeping an eye on the Delta. It looks like Tim has got a superior exit there, as Xenox actually chooses to pit in. So he's going to be trying to get an undercut on Tim. So interesting strategy. Dan behind decides to come in, as well as Robin Westing.
But I do believe that the results of the undercut are not going to show up until late at the race, because if Tim is managing his tires well, the mediums should be faster than the hards. Don't you agree on this one? The effect of the hard tires is going to be at the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, definitely. The hard tires usually come in. They will be at their best in the last quarter of their stint, or like the third quarter of their stint, right in the middle. Usually with like the softs or the mediums, they're going to be good right early on in their stint, but with hards it's the complete opposite. As Tim nearly loses it around Ascari, I was on board with that. He just lost the rear end a little bit, but he did good to catch that spin. Well, so he is still half a second ahead of Peter Vol, with Chris Hallett 7 seconds behind Peter Vol. But of course, having pitted, and Tim, of course, he does pit in to try and cover off that.
Well, I'm gonna return
undercut
to our
attempt.
I'm gonna return to our little talk that we were having a couple of seconds ago. We were discussing whether the undercut is a good thing or not. I mean, so did Izenix do the good thing or not? I mean, he's on a fresh set of hards. While okay, never mind. Tim Vreiswijk fell for it, and he went to the pits. So theoretically speaking, let's say Tim Vreiswijk stayed out on his mediums. Wouldn't that be hurtful for Izenix? Wouldn't that pit stop be ruining his strategy, do you think?
I think the longer that Tim had stayed out on the mediums,
the better.
The smaller the gap it would have been between Xenox and Tim. So when Tim pitted, I think the longer they had stayed on the mediums, the further back Tim would have been behind Xenox, so he did well to cover it off. But Xenox already warming up his hard tyres is going to make easy work of this overtake on Tim, so effectively gets net race lead here. Currently in P7, we do have Peter Vol coming into pit, so we'll just have to see where he comes out. Might come out between this battle of Xenox and Tim. We do have Rara Larat coming in as well. Peter Vol is on the mediums. So 12 laps on the medium tyres.
Take a look at Wooly. Wooly was very close to Chris Hallett. However, he was too aggressive on the throttle and he had a little bit of oversteer. And now he's going to be going to Variante della Roggia, turn 4 and 5. Heading into Lesmo 6 and 7 as Xenox sets the fastest lap on hards. Wow, that's fascinating. Wooly is gonna now enable DRS. 6 tenths behind, he's getting closer now. I don't think it's gonna be enough to make a move. He's not using ERS. Could have been closer had he used the ERS. And the race goes on. So 15 laps have passed so far. It's Chris Hallett provisionally leading the race. In second place is Wooly, 4/10 behind, as Slow Salt receives another set of 3-second time penalty. Luno J. 5 seconds behind, followed by SJM. Slow Salt in 5th place, followed by Peter Vol. Peter Vol, the leader of the championship. In 7th place, Tim Rijswijk, followed by Xenox. Half a second behind. We might see something here. Currently on board with Ice Xenox, only 3/10 behind. Getting very close to Tim Rijswijk. Is the McLaren driver going to do anything about this? Ooh, he hesitates. He hesitates.
He thinks better of it. He thinks better of trying to go for an overtake down the inside, which is smart from him.
Of course, that is a smart decision. You don't want to ruin your race and your let's say colleague's race.
You just tried to force Tim into a mistake, but of course, doesn't look like Tim is someone who would be likely to make one, as his pace has been very, very consistent here. But Peter Vol, he's the leader of the championship for a reason, already 1.6 seconds pulled away. And his nearest title rival, Slinky, he just popped up getting a penalty. He's down in 15th, so Peter Vol can get this win. He extends his lead to 23 points.
Well, today would be a good day for Peter Vol if he wins the race. That would be maximum points for him. As Chris Hallett and SJM go to the pits. I'm currently on board with Rara Lorat. He's only 1/10 behind the Toro Rosso of Stelios. It's going to be up to who's going to have the better exit. Seems like Rara Lorat is going to have the better exit. No, is he? Is he not? Is he? Is he not? Only 2/10 behind. He's going to enable the DRS now. He's very close to Stelios. Stelios is enabling the DRS. We can see an Alfa Romeo leaving the pits. And it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. Oh,
he goes wide though, and he loses. Contacts between the two as Rara Rat just hits the rear end of the Alpha Tauri. Both of them have a little bit of a spin, or a little bit of a rear end twitch, but both of them are still going, and both of them go very deep.
But that's not very good
into turn 4.
That's not very good for Rara Lorat, because Stelios kind of pushed him back to Provatox, and now Provatox is getting closer to him. Same thing for Slinky and P13 and SJM and Gongax. That's a train of cars behind him. So
yeah, that was a very, very good exit by Rara Lorat out of Lesma too. Willie tried to go for a move. No, he won't. Stelios gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting that corner, and Rara Lorat, his traction zones are very, very good. But he's going to be sticking behind Stelios, trying to get a better exit out of Parabolica like he did last time, and now he's really pushing him around the corner. Can he go? Oh, Stelios, he goes into the pits. Gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I'm not sure what happened there. His hards were only 6 laps old.
And the Mercedes of Provatox goes side by side next to Rara Lorat. But Rara had better exit.
That's Rui Diaz. Rui Diaz has gone straight over turn 1. And he's actually spun. He's on the hard tyres. They are 6 laps old, so they're not exactly fresh out of the pits.
Stelios is out. Stelios is out of the race.
Stelios retired in the pit lane. Last week's race winner has retired out of this race.
Well, you know something, Speed. I'm surprised that we were having a small chit chat right before the start of the race. We were asking ourselves how many safety cars are we gonna have, but we didn't have any safety car so far, and we had some, let's say, nice and quiet incidents, but we didn't see anything big. Why do you think so?
I think just generally, we know the drivers in this tier. They're all very clean drivers, so whenever there's space, well, whenever there's someone coming alongside, you always see how respectful they are leaving the racing room, leaving the space. There's a famous saying, all of the time you have to leave at that space.
Currently on board with Wooly. Wooly round the outside he goes.
Don't usually see a move like that.
That was a fascinating overtake by Wooly. Moves up to 6th place, overtaking the Dutch Robin Wiesling. And in 13th place, it's Xenon, 1/10 behind Slinky. He seems to be dropping out.
I think Slinky must have had a better exit out of turn 5 there, as yeah, he's really dropping Xenon behind. He's nearly outside of DRS, but he will get the DRS and he will start to close up a little bit extra. But Luna J goes for a move on the outside. He gets it done. Teammate on teammate. I'm sure Xenon won't be happy about his teammate overtaking him, but Luna J does have the penalties. He's on 13 seconds of penalties now after getting 5 seconds removed in the pit lane, but it's still a massive amount of penalties to have.
Well, but at least it's nice for the fans that there weren't any team orders between them. And if I take a close look at the chats, what happened?
Yeah, Luna J he was very late on the brakes and nearly collided with Slinky going into turn 1, but he managed to get it slowed down just enough to avoid him. It was very, very close to being an incident at turn 1.
So we saw a lot of messages that we haven't answered yet. So Antonis Kourkoumelakis, I believe he is Greek from his name. He's saying Kalimera, which is hi in Greek. Hi everyone, I'd like to ask you, is there any limitations on the assists that the drivers can use? Are they driving with traction off or medium? So what do we answer the man, Slinky?
So you have like the different tiers in PSGL. You have F1 to F8, which is no assists, and then F9 down to F15, which is you can use any assists apart from like braking assist or steering assist, and like stuff like the pit assist, pit release, DRS, and ERS assists. They're all not allowed, but anything like traction control, ABS, racing line, those are all allowed. So yeah, you have F1 to F8 are no assists, F9 to F15 are any assists.
I want to say
these guys here, but these guys here are F8s, so they're going to be using no assists.
I want to say hi to Yona Grek and Yordi, and thank you boys for supporting me. And good evening to Luis Salguero. And Jeremy is saying keep pushing Xenox. And we have Luis da Costa and Carlos Sousa supporting N2E. Who is N2E? Ah, it's Gongax.
That is Rui Diaz or Gongax. It's one of those two, or maybe they're supporting both of them.
Maybe it's a team. Ooh. But anyway,
seeing Dan going for a move down the inside of Tim, but Tim still sticks it round to the outside of turn 1, and that was a very, very good defense there from Tim. He just outbroke Dan, even though he's on the outside, has still made it round the outside. Dan being very respectful and leaving the racing room for Tim, and he's sticking behind him very close.
And now Gongax going side by side with the Alpine of Luno J. What is Luno thinking? He turned into him, but luckily they are still able to carry on and drive their cars. That was a bit worrying to see that. And Luno J is currently in 11th place, followed by Gongax and Slinky 13th. It's not the best day for Slinky today.
No, it's definitely not, and he's just going to be losing ground on Peter Vol. As Peter Vol, well, he's just dominating like Peter Vol usually does. 4.5 seconds back to Xenox, and with 5 racing laps to go, it's going to be very difficult for Xenox to even close this gap, as V19 gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings.
Take a look at Slinky. Slinky is only 2/10 behind Gongax. He's now gonna have DRS. He used ERS at the exit of Parabolica. I don't think it's gonna be enough as Luno Jehe moves to the side of the Mercedes. Provatox very late on the brakes. He's closing the door on the Mercedes. Round the outside he goes. And Luno Jehe goes through into 10th place. Who's gonna be next?
Oh, it looks like Slinky is getting very close to Gongax, and Gongax is still sticking behind Provatox. So maybe these guys can take advantage on Provatox because it looks like quite slow, and that is Rui Diaz, who's round at Parabolica. He's still going, so no safety car, virtual safety car here. But yeah, moving back up to Gongax, Provatox and Slinky and Luda Jehe. This battle I feel is going to be one that goes right until the end.
But if you take a look at it, it's not a small battle between one car or two cars. It's Luno Jehe, who is followed by Provatox, Gongax, Slinky, Slow Salt, and Izeri Bo. It's a 6-way battle for P10.
Yeah, it's going to be well. Of course, Slinky, Slow Salt, and Izeri Bo all have penalties, as well as Luno Jehe. But looking at Slinky, talking about him, he's gone down the inside of Gongax, and he's up into P12 now. But the person who I believe is going to get P10 is going to be Provatox, purely on, well, if it stays as it is now, it'll be Provatox, because Luno Jehe still has 13 seconds of penalties.
Well, penalties always change the results of the race, and the finish of the race is going to be an unofficial result, because of course the stewards might have another say, penalties might have another say. So this is why, for more accurate results, you guys need to check the results in the Discord. Take a look at Chris Hallett. He's only 3/10 behind Dan. He's going to be enabling DRS. He's getting very close to him. He's too close yet too far. Is he going to send it to the inside line? That seems like a suicide mission. He doesn't do it. Smart Chris.
Slinky is getting very close to the back of Provatox, and Gongax is closing up on Slinky as well. So maybe Slinky can get a move done. He's gaining, but he's not going to be close enough. As SJM and Rawa Larat actually go for a little battle through turn 1, and I believe Rawa Larat actually came out on top of that battle. So now Rawa Larat finds himself in P8, and SJM drops himself down into P9, and Luno Jehe through all of that is gaining on SJM, as I just saw Izeri Bo go off into the gravel at the exit of turn 5, and I believe it was Xenon go off at Parabolica as we saw the yellow flags. Izeri Bo gets himself another 3-second time penalty, and now he's really lost himself from the back of that train, as he's now 2.7, nearly getting close to 3 seconds behind Slow Salt. So it's not good, and just looking up at SJM, he's getting very close to the back of Rawa Larat. Let's see part 2 of this battle. 3/10 behind. He's closing, weaving there from Rawa Larat as he squeezes him to the inside, but SJM gets the move done. Into turn 1, out of turn 2, who gets the better traction? It looks like SJM has. and now finds himself back up into P8, and I believe Isaiah Bowe has come into the pits off the medium tyres, and he might be going for a fastest lap push here.
Well, how humiliating for Rararat in a Ferrari to be overtaken by a sister Alfa Romeo. That's something that you would never probably see on Formula One on television. We have a yellow flag.
Oh, that is
Who's that?
Zenon, I think. Zenon again at Parabolica, but as you're talking about that, Tim Vreiswijk picked up a 3-second time penalty. So that will see him drop behind Chris Hallett and Dan 007 getting a podium.
Unless he does a one-lap wonder as we are entering the final lap of the race. He's going to go side by side next to the McLaren of Izenix. Wow, that was clean. That was clean. Kudos to these two drivers.
Respectful. Very respectful from the two drivers, and Dan 007, well, he doesn't really need to go for an overtake because there is Rui Diaz has spun it on the exit of turn 5, and he has the battle for P2 right behind him, so he needs to pull to the side and not disturb that battle as he does.
Well, it's his teammate. Probably the team told him to move aside.
Yeah, this could see Tim drop all the way down to P5, which of course will be disappointing for Tim because he looked very strong. But someone who's not going to be disappointed with this race is Peter Vol. 6 seconds gap all the way back to Xenox. Peter Vol extends his lead at the championship to Slinky to 23 points now. Xenox in second, Dan 007 in third. Chris Hallett very, very close to getting third off Dan. Tim in fifth, Wooly in sixth, Robin in seventh, SJM in eighth. Rama Larat crosses the line in ninth. Luna Jhay drops all the way down, but Provotox gets 10th. Slinky finishes 11th, Gongax 12th, Luna Jhay in 13th. Now we have V19. Very unfortunate race for V19, but he will be crossing the line in 14th, goes for a little 360, and he sticks the landing.
So the Slinky fan club is going to be sad today. Oh, Isaiah Bowe steals the fastest lap on the last lap. That's interesting. I was saying that the Slinky fan club is going to be sad about today's results, but it is what it is. Hopefully he comes back stronger next week.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest race for Slinky, but we've seen in the past that he has the race pace to be up there. He's in second place in the championship for a reason. He will come back from this race.
And ladies and gents, now is the time for Peter Vol to show you that he bought the Podium Pass, and he bought a pack of celebrations with a lot of pit coins. And there goes the Czech Peter Vol winning in Monza. Well, after all, it's a Ferrari-powered car, so the Italians are not going to be sad about this. Speaking about Haas, of course, which is powered by a Ferrari. So champagne showers go on, and ladies and gents, here are the unofficial results for today's race. It's Peter Vol who wins in Monza. In second place, Izenix. Third place goes to Dan. In fourth, Chris Hallett. Fifth place goes to Tim Vreiswijk, the newcomer. Sixth place, Wooly. Seventh place goes to Robin Weisling, followed by SJM, Ragalorat, and Provatox. Do you want to continue?
Yeah, so we have Slinky in 11th, Gongax in 12th, Luna J. Hay 13th, V19 in 14th, Isevribo in 15th, and Slow Soul in 16th. Xenon in 17th, Rui Diaz in 18th, and the only two people not to finish his race, Stelios in 19th and Joshua in 20th.
Well, surprisingly enough, there wasn't any safety cars tonight. Who knows? We might see any safety cars next week. Thank you, ladies and gents, for watching tonight's stream. Would like to thank you so much, and we hope to see you next week, same time, same place. This is Salim and Speed Quinn kissing you good night. Bye bye.
See you.